Hello and good afternoon. Welcome or welcome back to Sev Talks Money, where we share tools and tips to build wealth, crush debt, grow your business, and gain financial freedom. Today we are talking about productivity, and I want to share with you 10 tips around productivity, and then I also have a couple of bonus tips that I want to share. So let's get right into it. And the first tip I want to share is on mindset. Now, somebody might be saying, what does mindset have to do with productivity? Think about how you approach the things you need to get done in your business. Or even if you're working a 9 to 5, or if you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're a full-time entrepreneur, think about the things, how you approach the things you need to get done. Now, if your mindset is not right around getting those things done, that's going to impede your productivity. It's going to cause you to not be as productive as you may want to be because you are thinking, this is drudgery. I don't want to do it. I don't want to, this is not what I want to work on today. So these are things that may be foundational to your business, but you decide you don't want to focus on those, at causing you to not be as productive as you need to be. I share with you that I'm in a couple of groups and I have seen people miss opportunities because they're like, I don't want to work on my website. It's too hard. I don't want to do it. I don't want to build my LinkedIn. I don't want to build my Instagram. I don't want to worry about all of that. And then they get an opportunity and the person or company may say, what is your social media so I can contact you on there? What is your website? And they don't have it. So because of their mindset of not not working on the things that will help them to build their foundation because they think it's too hard and they don't want to do it, they've lost opportunities. So what can you do to help your mindset for those things that don't come easy? There are things that I know come easy to me, and there are things that don't come easy. Those things I tend to want to put off. But what I find myself doing is I intersperse the ones that come easy with the ones that are a little bit more challenging, and it helps me. So my suggestion to you to deal with mindset is to ensure you add at least one task to your daily list that you enjoy doing. Now, point number 2 is organization. And hi, Kathy. Point number 2 is organization, and a way for you to be productive and to be effective in your business is to be organized. I know that when things are scattered, when I don't have things in order, I tend to get demotivated. I tend to not do what I need to do because it just feels overwhelming because papers are scattered everywhere and I just feel like not doing anything. So I love to read. So sometimes I just say, I don't want to deal with that. I just go grab a book and read. Well, when you are organized and you have things in place, like for me, preparing for my YouTube, I have notes jotted and I have my YouTube book that I write my notes in. I write my notes in, I have a spreadsheet for YouTube. And so I have notes. Since I have my calendar scheduled all the way to February 21st for YouTube topics, I can jot my notes beside it. So it keeps me organized so that if I'm working on, for example, today I'm working on productivity, I have my notes and I know exactly where to go to find it. I'm not scrambling, looking for things, looking for paper, looking for documents to get organized because my information is already organized. Because at my desk, I work my 9 to 5, and then I transition to my what I call my 5 to 9, which is really maybe like 5 to 12. I'm working on YouTube, and I'm also working on my educational and coaching business. So I'm doing all of those things. If I'm not organized, I'll drive myself crazy. So organization is so key to making sure that you're effective. If everything is in its place, I know exactly where to go for my keys. I'm not spending hours looking for my keys. I know exactly where to go for anything that I'm looking for because I have it in its own respective places, and it helps me to stay focused in doing what I need to get done. Now, the other thing is starting your day. It is very important that we ensure we start our day the correct way. My phone is my alarm. And I have to be careful that when I turn my phone, the alarm off, I am not just going to social media and scrolling, because something on social media is going to trigger my mind and it's going to make me mad or something. And then it clouds my day. So I would suggest, this is my process. I make sure I read a devotional, I read my word, and I pray. And if you are not a Bible reader, maybe what you want to do is read something motivational, read a quote. You want, this is so you can center yourself to start your day. Because again, mindset is so key. When you center yourself to start your day and you are deliberately choosing how you center yourself, it helps you to not have outside forces control how you start your day. Now, another thing around starting your day, which is so simple, so intuitive, for those of us who work from home, and if you're a stay-at-home mom, take a shower, get dressed, make your bed. And it seems so simple, but what it does, it signals to your brain that I am ready to transition from my bed, from resting to now to a work mode. It tells your brain that you are getting ready to transition to another part of your process. So starting your day, just taking a shower, or if you can't take a shower at the time, wash your face. It wakes you up and it gets you in the mode, in a different mode, which is the work mode. Now, number 4 is planning and scheduling. It, for me, with right now, I am studying for a certification for personal finance education. I'm studying for a certification for my 9 to 5. I'm preparing for YouTube. I am working my 9 to 5. I am working my education, my personal finance education and coaching business. I have my daughter. I have house things that I need to do. All of those things. I'm writing a book. I'm preparing an e-course. I'm doing an e-product. If I don't get myself planned and schedule all the things that I need to get done and create deadlines and a way to get them done, next time you see me, I'll be bald because I'll be pulling my hair out. So it is so very important that we, schedule and organize. And yes, Kathy, if we're going to be an entrepreneur, we have to work hard, stay focused, and stay organized, because that's the only way we're going to get what we need to get done. And yes, to starting our day with a grateful heart, because if we don't do that, it can cloud our day if we're starting disgruntled and not focused. So around the topic of planning and scheduling, I'm using myself because, again, these are tips that I'm using, and you hear me mention all the things that I'm working on. These are things that helped me when I was completing my doctorate. I was working a 9 to 5. I was doing a part-time. I was a treasurer for my daughter's drama club. I was very involved in my church. I would teach Bible study. I would teach Sunday Sunday morning. So I had all these things that I was doing, and I was working my 9 to 5. So I had to learn how to create, plan and schedule, and create deadlines. So here is what I would suggest. List what you need to get done. Keep your tasks in a central place and break them into manageable bits. So if you know that you are creating a YouTube channel, a YouTube documentary, or a broadcast on a topic, you're not just going to say, oh, I'm creating a YouTube broadcast on productivity. You have to now create a system for your process. And if you create a system for your process for this broadcast, then that same system can be used for future broadcasts. As I said before, my topics are scheduled out through February 2021. And so I know what I need to do. I know I need to research. I need to do an outline. And I review and walk through the flow of my YouTubes live, I do it 4 or 5 times. On Saturdays is my deadline to complete everything for my YouTube, and I review it. I walk through it. Sometimes I tape myself. I record myself doing the actual live just to see what I need to change. And then Sunday, I do it maybe 1 or 2 more times. I walk through it. That's my process to fine tune it to make sure that I'm giving the best for my audience who are subscribed and those who are going to be watching the replay. So that's my process for YouTube. So whatever it is that you are trying to do, you want to make sure you create a system of processes, and have deadlines, have people that keep you accountable. In writing my book, I'm in a couple of groups where I say I am going to write 500 words per week. So they'll say, hey, Severin, did you get it done? So that's creating deadline, creating a system, breaking my task into manageable bits that will help me to stay focused. So I suggest that whatever it is you're doing, you try to do the same thing. Create your task, create your list, look at your calendar for the month, for the year, not just day by day. Look at your calendar for the month and lay out what you need to get done for the month. And then what do I need to get done each day to lead to the completion of the items that I have laid out for the month or for the year. And as I talk about keeping things in one place and laying out your schedule and creating deadline, one of the things that I use is my tip number 5 is an app called ClickUp. It is a project management tool, and you can use it as for your team, and you can use it as an individual. This is comparable to Asana and Trello, but I have not used those tools. I've only used ClickUp. And ClickUp to me it keeps, again, all your tasks in one place. You can actually assign tasks to team member. So let's say you're writing a book and you want somebody to review maybe after the 3rd chapter or whatever. You can put it in there, and you can add the task to their list so that they know they need to get it done. You can put priority on there, whether it's emergency, whether it's highly important, whatever. You can categorize your task, and you can categorize the task and put deadlines on those tasks for the people who are on your team. And I'm using it as a solo, a team of one, but it is very helpful. Like if I want my daughter to get something done, I can add her on there and say, hey, I want you to get this done at this time because it's going to help me to achieve my goal. You can set goals in it. The reason I like ClickUp over Asana and Trello, and Asana is spelled Asana, Trello is Trellio. The reason I like those ClickUp over those two is because, and there are other ones, is because you can pull documents, Google Docs in. You can share documents. You can pull in documents and share documents in ClickUp. And then also ClickUp is available on apps, and it's on your computer. And I don't know if the others are, but I know that helps, because if I'm on my computer and I think of something that I want to add into my task list, I can add it in. If I'm at the doctor's office and I remember something I need to add as a task, or to maybe add a subtask to something that I'm trying to work on, I can add it into my phone. So ClickUp is very helpful in that respect. Now, another thing. Yes, Kathy, ClickUp is very, very helpful, and there is a free version. There is a 2 different tier of paid. It's like, I think it's $5 per person is the next paid tier, and like $9 per person. But for me, it's free. I use it free, and it does a great job. There is a little bit of a learning curve with ClickUp over the other ones. The other ones are a little bit more intuitive to use, but once you get everything in place for ClickUp, I'm telling you, it is so, so helpful. Just really great. Thanks. Hi, Nardia. Thank you. Thank you for saying great suggestions. These are things that I'm using that really help me. So, which is why I want to share with other people who are in my space, because again, I'm a 9-to-5er and an entrepreneur trying to balance all of that, plus all the certifications and all the other things that I'm working on. I have to find a way to get organized, or I'll just give up. I'll just get demotivated and not try. So the next thing I want to talk about is outsource. For me, tech is not my strong point. So I'm working on my thumbnails. I am getting better at them, but I know eventually I'm going to outsource my thumbnails. My daughter is really great at this. But if you have a daughter, if you have a child, and you know how hard it is to get them off their phone to really do what you help you do what you want to get done. So, and it's not even only for outsourcing things that you're doing, like maybe outsource cleaning. If your time is worth $50 an hour, why would you spend 2 hours to do that when you can pay somebody $20 an hour to do it? Maybe you know somebody who their side business right now, especially with COVID, is cooking. And you trust them and you know that they will charge you X dollars to cook a meal for maybe 3 days or for the week. Why not use that time, the time that you would save, to build your business and do income producing activities and let somebody else do the cooking? So these are things that you can think about when it comes to outsourcing. Outsourcing, I'm eventually going to outsource my thumbnail. When I do videos where I want to do edits, right? Like right now, I'm just doing lives because I'm lazy. I don't want to do edits. So the lives, blooper and all, is what's going to be shown to people who are watching. But when I decide to do more involved or in-depth videos that I may want to edit, I'm going to outsource that because I can do it. I've done it before, but why spend time to do it when I could be, looking for income producing activity, doing income producing activities that will build my business, and not outsource that to Fiverr, somebody on Fiverr who's gonna take maybe a couple of hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to get that done because that's their thing, and they can get it done cheaper than I can use my time to do that. So, those are things that you want to consider as you build your business and you're trying to balance your 9 to 5 or whatever it is you're doing with building a side business. And I want to pause right now for a station identification break and just say that if you are liking what you're hearing and you think somebody will benefit from this, please like, please share. And if you are seeing a red button, that means you have not subscribed. So please subscribe so that you can get content on things that, again, this channel is about building wealth, crushing debt, growing your business, and gaining financial freedom. So the things I share are geared toward those 4 pillars. So please comment. You won't be able to comment on the video until after I am done, but you can share the chat. Unfortunately, the chat goes away, and when you comment, you have to come back to the video to comment so that others can see it. So like, share, and subscribe if you have not done that already. So we're going to move on to number 7 of our 10 tips, and this one is a little bit different. Think of your business as a corporation. And here's what I mean by that. In my company, my 9 to 5, I am in the controllership function. There's an HR function. I don't do what HR does. HR doesn't do what the controllership function does. We don't do what the CEO does. We don't do what sales do. So if you treat your business like a corporation, the first thing you want to do is determine what departments are in your business. For me, I have 3 departments. I have the CEO function, and this is where I am listening to podcasts. I'm reading content. I'm reading financial education topics. I am going after certification. I am going to seminars that will sharpen me in terms of personal finance. Then I have the research department where I am now researching specific to maybe my client. I need to get some information for my client, or I need to I'm engaged for a speaking for a speaking appointment, and I need to research things specific to that. or research for specific to a YouTube topic that I'm wanting to cover. And then the third function in my company right now is promotion and marketing. I have to make sure I promote on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. I'm promoting, I'm marketing my services, I'm marketing my business. So there are activities within each of these functions. For my CEO function, I now have to decide, do I need to set aside a day, or do I need to set aside 2 hours of each day to do my CEO function? For research, do I take a day per week to research? The same for promotion and marketing. How do I divvy up the responsibilities for each of these functions? Because when you do that, you are not trying to research, read a book, doing this. You're not trying to do a million things at one time. You are specific and intentional about what function in your business you are trying to build at that time. So first, I would suggest that you determine what departments are currently in your business. For some of you, you may have HR. I'm not there yet. I don't have HR. I will one day. What departments do you have in terms of what it is that you need to do to work on your business? And then become strategic in getting things done around those functions. And that's going to help you to become more productive, because you are now being so much more intentional about what it is that you're doing. Now, tip number 7 is something that I have not used, but in my research, because again, with me doing all the things I named before, sleep gets sacrificed. And so I have been researching, what can I do? I cannot do strong scents. I cannot do candles. I cannot do any of that because it makes me sneeze. It makes my head hurt. And so what else can I do? I've been taking melatonin, but that doesn't seem to help either. And because I'm spending between 12 to 18 hours per day in front of a screen, whether it's a phone or a computer, I now have to figure out a way to get my sleep. And one of the things I found in my research was something called blue blockers. And according to WebMD and sleepfoundation.org, blue light disturbs the body's natural circadian rhythm, which is your sleep and wake cycle, and deprives it of melatonin, which is what helps us sleep. So blue blockers, what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to help block the blue light that disturbs our body's natural sleep and wake cycle. So this is not something I've used, but in my research, this is what I found, and eventually I am going to get the blue blockers to see if that's going to help me with my sleep. Because again, we're talking about productivity, right? If we don't get enough sleep, then it affects our mental state and it affects eventually our productivity. So we have to find ways to increase our productivity so we can build our business the way we want to. Now, tip number 9 is use what you have. I've mentioned some apps, I've mentioned some processes. What works for you? An app might not work for you. A pencil and paper might be what works for you. A spreadsheet might be what works for you. A calendar on your phone might be what works for you. Another app may be what works for you. When I go to the grocery store, I use a note app. And when I go to the grocery store, I write down what I need. Every time I'm done with something, if I use the last of my water or whatever, I write it in this little note app. And when I go to the grocery store, I don't go to the hardware section, then go across to get eggs, and then go across to get, I forgot, I got to go back over here. I am very strategic in making sure that I get everything that's in the hardware section, everything that's in the refrigeration section, everything that's in the dry goods section. I'm very strategic. And so for you, whatever works for you, use it. I find sometimes we're looking for this magic bullet. We're looking for this one thing that's going to make everything. Once we do that one thing, everything is going, our productivity is just going to be falling into place. And there is no such thing as a magic bullet. Some of these things I'm sharing here, maybe you can pick one of them, two of them that will work for you. Maybe none of them works for you, but it triggers something that you say, you know what, that doesn't work, but I think I can use XYZ. So use what you have that will work for you based on your personality and make it work. Don't look for the magic bullet. Don't look for what you think you should use based on what everybody else is using, but use what works for you. Ah, yes. Yes, you're saying Kathy is saying that she's been looking for the at the blue blocker glasses and will order a pair. I take melatonin and it helps me. It doesn't seem to help me, and I think it's my fault. And here's what's happening: is for me when I relax at the end of the day, I love to read. I'm just a voracious reader, and for me, how I relax at the end of the day or anytime is reading. And I will be getting sleepy and I will force myself to finish a chapter or go to the next chapter if the book is good to me. And so, of course, with me being in front of the TV, in front of the computer, and then reading and forcing myself past my sleepy state, I think that's why melatonin is not working for me. So I know I have to get into the habit, but again, reading is how I relax. I don't watch TV. I don't have TV. Just reading is my thing. And so I have to now figure out a way to balance that. I'm working on that one, but I have not figured out a way to just not read another chapter and another chapter. Before you know it, it's 2 o'clock and in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I got to get up and go to work. So I'm pushing myself past my natural sleep state. And I think even though I've taken the melatonin, and I think that's why it's not working for me. So maybe I need to revisit that. But I'm definitely looking into the blue blockers. All right, so number 10 is social media and email subscriptions. Now, turn off those social media notifications. You don't need to. Do you really need to know that somebody posted a new post? Do you really need to know that somebody liked your post? My email notifications, every time somebody likes my post or sends me a friend request, it would come into my email. I turn those off. I turn off all my LinkedIn notifications, all my Facebook notifications, Twitter and Instagram. I turn them off. On YouTube, I turn them off from coming into my email. And I turn them off from popping up on social media. Because then I can be intentional of going into my email and doing what I need to do. I can be intentional of going to Facebook and seeing which ones I want to look at. I can be intentional about going to Instagram and see who's liked my post or left a comment, and I can reply there, because now I manage my time, not the notifications. Another thing is email subscriptions. There are times when you sign up for a subscription for something and you just wanted it maybe for a month, a couple of weeks. And what happens is you have all these subscriptions and you have you're digging, trying to find the things that are relevant for you right now, because you have all these old subscriptions that you don't want. There is a service that I'm using, and it's called Unroll Me. UNROLL.me. I should have probably put it in here, but it's unroll.me. Google it. You use that and you enter the email address that you want. And I found when I did my first email, I had all these subscriptions that I don't even remember these people or who they are. And basically, I just unsubscribe from all of those subscriptions, and it makes my email so much more clean. So you can use Unroll Me for all of your different email addresses, because I have different email addresses for different things. And you put that email address in, and you can do a mass unsubscribe and tell it which ones you want to keep, and it will help you to keep your email and your emails clean. Because again, that's going to help your productivity, because you're not wading through a bunch of stuff that you don't care about to find the things that you really care about. So go ahead and try that. Unroll Me. Now, here's the other thing that I have not used that I am going to be using, and it's batch scheduling your content. Because I have Instagram, I have LinkedIn, I have YouTube, well, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. And what I do is I have a reminder at 10 p.m. to make sure I have posted my content to all of those social media platforms. But here's the thing: not everybody will be on the platform at 10 p.m. when I'm posting my content. So what these scheduling tools do, and I have not recommended one because I have not decided which one I'm going to use, but just go ahead and Google scheduling tool, batch content scheduling tools. You're promoting your YouTube content. You're promoting your services. You're wanting to share educational content or something around what it is your business does. So you can use these tools and you can set it up, and some of them will even create your content for you, and you set it up and you can say, okay, I want something put out at 8 a.m. I want something put at 12 noon. I want something put at 6 p.m. or whatever, 2 a.m. in the morning. And what that does is the people who are subscribe to you or connected to you and they're in different time zones, then they are seeing your content, because the way things work is if they don't interact with you, they don't see your content. But if you're putting it out at different times for different people who are in different time zone, then you're more likely to get more engagement in your social media. So this is something that I'm looking at because it's going to help me with time upfront when I batch my content. It's going to help me with productivity and being more efficient in my time, because I'm not spending time creating content for each of my social media because they're treated a little different. This tool will help me to do that. So now I just want to share the bonus tips, which again are things that are so intuitive. And the bonus tips are diet and exercise. I found that since I'm working from home, that I don't exercise as much. I used to spend an hour to 2 hours exercising. For some reason, now I'm home, I find myself so glued to my computer that I don't exercise as much as I should. And so what I've been doing is I give myself breaks in there and I run up the stairs. I have some stairs and I don't ever walk up my stairs. I run up my stairs because that's a way to break the monotony of my day and to get in a little bit of exercise. My diet, I make sure that I treat myself, but I make sure the things that I'm eating are not impeding my productivity. So if I'm eating, cookies and ice cream and all that stuff and carbs all day, that's going to cause me to be sluggish, and that's going to affect my productivity. And the next thing I want to talk about is taking back our time. Now, one of the things that we can do to take back our time is use some tools that speed up what we do. So for the one thing I want to point out here is when I listen to courses or I listen to books on Audible, I use the speed up feature because I read so much. When they're on like the first, it's just too slow for me because I have just read so much that I'm on sentence 4 when you're still finishing up sentence 1. So I use the speed up feature to speed through content. And I know some of you are listening to me now, and those who are going to be listening to the replay. I know you're going to be going back to visit some of my older YouTube videos, right? Right. And so I know you can use the speed up feature in YouTube, and that way a 20-minute video you can listen to in maybe 10 minutes because you go into the settings and you can speed it up, and so you can still consume content, but it allows you to speed up the content and you are able to consume more content. You can set up, there are different video speed controllers that you can set up on your internet, where you can speed up content you listen to on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can you can speed up content directly on those platforms. But then they're good again, a platform like YouTube. Within YouTube, you can speed up and slow down. You can slow down too the content so that you can consume more of the content that you want to listen to, and you can take back your time to do that. So again, if maybe one of these help, maybe it triggers you to think of another tip, any of these tips that I've shared here today. And I know you have not heard about the one where, about your thinking of your business as a corporation and segmenting the activity by department. I think that one is one that I'm just starting, and that one I think is going to be so helpful because I tend to be all over the place. I tend to be looking at this, and then it triggers something, then I go over here and look at something else, and by the end of the day I'm not as productive as I could be. So I'm hoping that at least one of these tips will help you to be more productive in your business as you continue to build your business. And next week, we're going to be talking with a young lady who has a few businesses, and she just produced a book. She just published a book, and I'm going to be talking with her about some of the things that she's done to build productivity tools that she's using to help build her business. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you here next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a wonderful day.